Hey everyone, welcome to War Thunder News. This is September 11th, the news for everything up to this date and behind. This is a new series we're doing. We're going to cover the news for War Thunder, and hopefully this turns to be a popular series. Turns out to be a popular series. Anyway, right to the news. So, patch 1.81 is coming. There has been a couple dev servers now, so helicopters are coming. But it's probably not going to change the meta or the meta. Helicopters are really easy to shoot down, especially with the radar-guided, self-propelled anti-aircraft guns. They're really easy to shoot down with anything from missiles, spamming missiles at them, even a simple 50 cal mounted on top of your roof will take them down. And unfortunately, the way radar worked in real life was it wasn't really able to pick up these helicopters at lower altitudes because they would just, couldn't really tell if it was a tree or a helicopter, right, on the radar. But that's not been implemented into War Thunder yet, unfortunately. So if you're really looking forward to helicopters, I would just not get too excited about it because I'm not sure that they're going to be very effective. I'm sure they'll either be the best thing in the game if your team has the game pretty much in its own hands, but I don't think they're going to be very effective. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so there's going to be 8 released for the U.S. and 8 released for the USSR right away. So 8 for United States, 8 for Russia. The premium Mi-24D Hind for Russia, and the premium Huey will be the 2 premium ones, Huey for America and the Hind for Russia. Helis have their own runway with an air spawn. So if you manage to land a plane on the heli runway, you'll respawn it with an air spawn. And the heli runway is actually really close to the battle compared to the air runway. But there's no anti-aircraft guns on the helicopter runway, so there could easily be an enemy plane just waiting to shoot you when you land, so just be careful about that. Helicopters are going to be battle rating 8.0 to 10.0. And that's about the basics as far as helicopters are concerned. I've heard a lot of complaints from people saying that they weren't modeled very realistically, but I mean, give Gaijin a break, guys. They just started. So I think helicopters are going to be really fun. I think if you're looking forward to having fun in a helicopter, just for shits and giggles, it's going to be great, but don't expect to get 12 kills in your helicopter, because they're very easy to kill. They're very fragile. But yeah, that's it on helicopters. Moving on. Okay, so our next piece of news is the Americans are getting a new Abrams tank, the M1IP, which stands for Improved Protection. They're also getting a T-54E1 Rank 5 Premium tank with an autoloader. Some of you may recognize that one from World of Tanks. Horrible game. Anyway, M247. The USA are also getting an M247, which is a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. That was already covered in a dev blog. The Russians are getting the T-80B, which is a faster version of some of the other Russian medium tanks that you're familiar with in the late tiers. That was also covered in a blog, I believe, or one of Gaijin's videos at Gamescom. The Russians are also getting a T-55AM, which is a Russian premium tank, rank 5 premium as well. It actually got its battle rating reduced on the dev server from 9.0 to 8.7, so that's a change. And then the Russian T-55, the regular one, the non-premium one, has had its battle rating reduced to 8.3. The BMP-2 is another new Russian tank that's coming. It is a boat and a light tank. Some of you may be familiar with it already because there's the BMP-1. And it's going to be battle rating 7.7. And for the Germans, they're getting the TAM, which is a tank used by Argentinian forces, I believe. It's basically a lighter version of the Leopard. It shares the same gun as the Leopard. We're also getting for Germany the Leo L44 premium tank, which has the Rheinmetall 120mm cannon, L44 cannon that everyone loves. That's going to be a 9.0, and I've heard a lot of people complaining that it's just a better version of the Tech Tree equivalent. So people are complaining that that's being sold. Personally, I don't care because I'm going to buy it. So I want it to be good, but hey, everyone has their own opinion, right? The British are getting a new tank. It's called the Warrior tank. It's similar to the Russian BMP, sort of like a mini 30mm cannon on there and some ATGMs and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a utility tank, light tank. The French are getting a Batchat. I'm sure you guys all know about the Batchat. But yeah, the French are getting the Batchat. Japan, there's no new tanks planned for Japan, but they are getting the turret remodeled on the STB-1 and 2. So there's also some changes to respawn costs for our realistic battleground forces. There's been a 30% reduction in overall respawn costs, as well as no respawn costs at all for reserve vehicles. So that's a change. There's a new plane coming out for the Germans, the Me-163, with 4 20mm cannons, and 2 of them are on gun pods. There's also an I-225 for the Russians. That's a new plane. Sort of looks like a Yak. The I-225 for the Russians, yeah. There's 3 flight model changes coming up to some planes. I know one of them is the Verne, the British Wyvern. There's some possible changes coming up to ships. And open beta is going to be coming in the next 3 months with a full British fleet tech tree. There's been some data mining, so we have reason to believe that that's been going on. Possible battleships coming in future as well. Through some data mining, people have figured out that there's these rather large guns put into the game, files for these rather large guns, such as those found on the Bismarck ships of Germany. There's a changes to leak mechanics in naval battles, so significantly more damage taken if you're suffering from leak mechanics or leaking in your ship. And there's tons of other minor ship changes coming in patch 1.81. But altogether, guys, that is the news for September 11th. This is mostly focusing on patch 1.81. And thanks for watching.